Dear students, let us begin with the third part of the lesson with continuing our discussion on India's economic relations with China. Indian exports to China are mostly raw materials which do not encourage high profits. Further, raw materials are basic items for which China can easily supplant India and find other suppliers instead in the event of a rough patch occurring in their relationship. Chinese goods, on the contrary, are manufactured items which come at a comparatively cheaper cost than when produced at home. Statistics show that Chinese goods have a high import penetration rate in India, especially in the consumer durables sector, while it is not vice versa. India thus is more economically dependent on China than the latter is on the former. The COVID-19 pandemic has pushed the economic relation on a new pathway, while other dimensions of relationships have suffered heavily. India's efforts to reduce economic dependence on China include initiatives like Atmanirbharta, the focus of which is on strengthening domestic manufacturing capabilities to decrease reliance on imports. Rising nationalist sentiments in India have led to calls for boycotting Chinese goods. The Indian government has implemented measures such as banning Chinese apps and tightening scrutiny of Chinese investments. India remains cautious of China's penetration in the Indian Ocean region, with construction of roads, railways, ports and pipelines, especially under the auspices of the Belt Road Initiative with India's neighbors such as Myanmar, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal and Pakistan. The meltdown in the security situation was first evidenced in 2017 when India-China collided in the Doklam region located at the tri-junction between India, China and Bhutan. Tensions reached a culmination point when Indian and Chinese soldiers clashed in the Galwan Valley sector in May-June 2020 over India's construction of roads in the region that China claimed to be on its side of the line of actual control. Several soldiers on both sides were killed in what has been called the deadliest clash between the two nations following the 1962 border war. Several rounds of talks at the leader and ambassadorial levels have failed to diffuse the crisis completely. The immediate reaction from India has been to ban 59 Chinese apps citing national security reasons such as TikTok, WeChat to name a few, and the passing of several acts to screen Chinese foreign investments into the country. In the same vein, India's telecom ministry has also left out Chinese firms Huawei and ZTE from running 5G trials in India. Several Indian nationals have urged fellow citizens to boycott Chinese goods. China has expressed displeasure at these moves and threatened to fire back. The Indian government too has adopted a nationalist rhetoric, with the Prime Minister commenting that anyone threatening India's territorial integrity shall be given a befitting reply. However, latest economic data shows that China is still India's largest trading partner, and in the aftermath of the pandemic, China's exports, especially of oxygen concentrators and other medical goods to India, have increased manifold. India's trade deficit with China has declined from 53.57 billion US dollars in 2018 to 2019 to 44.02 billion US dollars in 2020 to 2021. India has been moving towards increasing self-reliance or Atmanirbharta as propounded by Prime Minister Modi's scheme to improve its own manufacturing sector instead of relying on imports from China. The measures will take a long time to display results, but the deteriorating security relationship did have a bearing in increasing economic tensions between China and India. However, disengagement is not feasible and new and innovative engagement methods should be developed to resolve outstanding issues in the bilateral relationship. Let us summarize what we have discussed so far in this lesson. India-China relation is at a crossroad today. Diplomatic engagement shall be the key to understanding and addressing each side's grievances. The civil society level engagement of the two countries is deep and extensive. Civil society engagement, including cultural exchanges, educational collaborations and business interactions, can foster mutual understanding and goodwill. Both countries have relative strengths and weaknesses in particular economic sectors that need to be harnessed efficiently. China leads in hardware development, while India has an edge in the software and its related services sector. Hence, engagement is crucial. Both nations are part of several multilateral economic organizations such as SCO, ASEAN and BRICS. These platforms offer opportunities for dialogue and cooperation on regional and global issues. Both nations can work together to find a common ground and contribute positively to the stability and development of the region. Steps should be taken to avoid conflicts and confrontations along the border. Transparency in troop movements and communication channels can help prevent misunderstandings. I hope you understood India's economic relations with China. We have concluded our lesson. Thank you.